I'm sure you all know this sort of feeling. I started writing something and I thought, oh yeah, this is going well. And then about 2 hours later, I was like, oh no, I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah. Happens
Going
all
in the
the
wrong
time.
direction?
I've never had that experience. Everything I start, I love to the end.
Right. Okay. Good.
Good for you.
Yeah. And Brent, I'd like to just offer to maybe introduce yourself and let us know, because I think I met you a little bit on Facebook a few months ago. So maybe tell us where you're from. I've heard your music. Your music's awesome. Maybe tell us what you're working on and just say, hey, your microphone's muted, by the way. So just so you know. And a few more people will probably trickle in. So we'll take our time.
Oh, there we go. Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. Yeah, the first time I've used the Google thing. So, every time I do something like this, I have to learn a new system. So,
yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So, well, I missed. Have I missed Pierre and Sam introducing themselves?
Yeah, but we can go around a bit and we can touch on that too.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, as I said, I'm Brent. I'm a professor of music, primarily a saxophonist, but I do keyboards and a slight bit of guitar as well, sing a little bit. I am, as I said, a professor of music in Arkansas here in the United States, and have been for 17 years now, and worked in a recording studio back in my much younger days, and, of course, played in I've been playing bar gigs since I was 15. So, done all of those things. And I really don't remember a time that I didn't write songs. I remember being a little kid, like 3-4 years old, and just making up little silly songs all the time. And my grandson's doing that now. I don't know if that's something all little kids do or if it's something in our DNA, but it's interesting. But I just never really stopped. I just continued writing songs for as long as I can remember. And then when I was 7 or 8 years old, I was dreaming big of being in a rock band one day and recording albums and all of that stuff. And so anyway, in the last couple of years, last few years, I ended up I've been very active as a musician, of course, more doing a lot of classical stuff, all the things that it takes to get tenure and promotion and all that stuff as a professor, and sort of jumped all those hurdles. And so in the last few years, I've ended up sort of an interesting, long, diluted story of how it all came together. But I ended up putting together a group called Emerald City Council, progressive rock band, and ended up through a mutual friend meeting a great drummer by the name of Noah Hungate. Noah is the son of David Hungate of Toto, and then sort of through happenstance, got contact information for a guy named Jake Livgren, who is Kerry Livgren's nephew of Kansas, and thought, well, what are the odds of me getting, David Hungate's son and Kerry Livgren's nephew in the same band? And they said, yeah, we love your music, let's do it. And so we ended up forming this group, put out an album just about a year ago, and thankfully has been doing extremely well. And has at the end of the year, we've had multiple news sources call us the #1 progressive rock debut album of the year, which we're very excited about. Wish it meant it was generating more money, but isn't that all the way it goes? But we're just excited that we have people from all over the world listening to our music and enjoying what we're doing. And as being the guy who wrote all the material, that's very satisfying. So I've started writing on the second album, but it's all just kind of up here at this point. The way that I write is I usually start melodically first with a few lines of lyric in there, and just kind of usually try to have everything, the arrangement of everything. The guitar is going to do this, the sax is going to do this, the keyboards are going to do this, and this is the kind of groove that I want. I usually have all of that kind of worked out in my head before I ever sit down with an instrument, figure out what it is that I'm, and then I just kind of go from there.
Well, that sounds awesome. I mean, I've heard your music and it's really, really polished and good sounding.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you the principal songwriter? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And then I
On
guess
this,
you arranged it.
yeah, on this album, so actually with this album, originally I just started this. This was going to be, I mean, I recorded stuff years ago and, just kind of on and off. And with this particular project, this was going to be just more of a project for me. I mean, I was actually originally thinking this was going to be something that I'd be lucky if 50 people ever listened to, and then everybody else sort of came on board. I didn't really have the intention to start a band. That just sort of happened, it just sort of fell in my lap that I had these great musicians that wanted to be a part of it. And so it just sort of worked out that way. But I pretty much had the material, together before we actually started working together. But Jake is actually a pretty great songwriter himself. So as we're starting in on the next project, even though I will still continue to be the principal songwriter, most of it will be my. It would really be kind of nervous to have a second great songwriter in the band and not utilize him. For sure.
And it's so great to actually have great musicians in your corner to help you to make the songs even better. So
right.
That's exciting. Thanks, Brent. Thanks for sharing. And hopefully, I guess you'll have something maybe to play for us later in the call. So we've played Pierre, Martin, Sam, Brent, and Ian. If you guys have anything you want to share with the group, no pressure, but if you'd like to, be happy to hear something.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Please, Brent.
You want to if you want to just put it up on Spotify, it has the lyrics there, so that way you can just display it.
Perfect.
If you want to do that.
That's good.
Yep.
Emerald City Council.
Pretty excited to hear this, to be honest. Emerald City Council. I'm going to share this with you so you can see what's going on. So we'll go to the artist here.
Okay. Let's do Realize 3, which probably be more. Realize 3, The Comfort of Suffering.
You got some nice play counts on here.
It is long. It's getting there. We just hit total of 42,000 the other day, 10,000 on Apple Music. So we're getting there. About 20,000 on YouTube.
Nice.
So let me kind of preface this one. So this is part 3. This is actually technically this is the last part of a really 16-minute song. But what I did was I split it up so that it bookends the album. Parts 1 and 2 are at the beginning. Part 3 ends the album. So part 1 is an instrumental that has a narration by Jeffrey Combs, the actor Jeffrey Combs, if you're familiar with him from Star Trek and Reanimator, all of those, tons of other stuff. I'm sure you've seen him on. And anyway, he does a narration. It's an instrumental thing. And then part 2, well, and really it's about what part 1 is kind of about, is about how we sometimes let our past mistakes sort of keep us from moving forward. We get caught in this, trap of thinking I'm no good because I did this thing in my past or whatever. Part 2 is about how a lot of times people are sitting around waiting for some magical moment to happen. They're waiting for someone else to come along and offer them something. And really they're, they've got to do it themselves. They've got to make that opportunity happen. So part 3, which ends the album, uses some of the thematic material musically within it. So there are some parts that I'm using some of the musical themes that actually ends with the opening of part 2, more or less. And then also the idea of these were lyrics I really struggled to write. And so as a professor of music, one of the things that I've really seen a lot over the years is some of my most talented students, when everything starts to get a little hard, they quit. And I've seen some of the most talented musicians I've ever worked with just give up. And then I run into them 10 years later and they're working in a Dollar Tree or something like that, completely, not, and they've said to me, dropping out was the dumbest thing that I ever did. And so this is and so The Comfort of Suffering is about how even though in our normal lives where we don't achieve our goals, even though we're suffering because we're not doing what we wanted to do, what we dreamed of, we're comfortable because this is what we're used to. So that's what the idea of the comfort of suffering is about. Okay. The bridge borrows lyrically very much from some of the lyrical imagery of part 2. So it's sort of tying all 3 parts together. So rather than subject you to all 16 minutes of it, we'll just play the last part.
Yeah. Thanks, Brent.
Yeah. And this is prog. We go through a lot of different keys, a lot of different time signatures, all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway,
Sick.
whenever you're
All
ready.
right. Here we go.
And in the span of time you walk upon the earth, others will succeed while you observe. With angry jealousy you're questioning your worth. Why should they obtain what you deserve? Indifference and cold bitterness has clouded the ambitions that you repress. In between suffering and the ways that you find comforting hides a truth never told of desires you let go. And as the years roll by, a pattern will emerge. Every day is like the one before. With quiet dignity, you're holding back an urge to pursue the passions you've ignored. Conformity brings you certainty, while living with decisions remorsefully. In between suffering and the ways that you find comforting hides a truth never told of desires you let go. Giving up is effortless when trying becomes perilous. In a blink of your eye, wasted years are justified. It's hard to stand on high when guarantees are seldom given. Cast the fear aside, you're conquering your inhibitions. And like a million eyes are waiting for your next decision, your moment has arrived, a course collision. And can you feel it? And can you feel it? And can you feel it? In between suffering and the ways that you find comforting hides a truth never told of desires you let go. Time has not escaped you yet. In a blink of your eye, visions can be realized. So long, now we'll see you at a different time. And if you found this meaningless, you fail to see the signs. But when you recognize all you're hiding, you have agonized for all you've been through. When you realize all you're finding is there within you.
Wow, that was cool.
Well, I was right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, jeez. Well
Great
done.
stuff, man. This
Some
is the
of
kind
those
of music
lyrics-
I grew up with. Completely grew up with this stuff.
Oh,
You know,
Excuse me.
wow.
Soda just went down the wrong way. Sorry.
No, man. Yeah. Oh man, the way like it never got boring. Like
Wow.
you managed to take us through this tapestry or this sort of exploration of different moods, and everything flowed super well.
Oh,
I got little hints of like Steely Dan in the verses or something. Maybe
Yeah,
that's just me.
Yeah.
Great pivot chords, like some of the harmonies you're doing there, like switching. I guess you're changing keys and
Oh yeah.
yeah, just and the lyrics. Like it's not easy to write lyrics that fit to, I guess, a prog song, but they all fit really well and they're all really clear. I think you kind of really just nailed the meaning of it. So I really enjoyed that.
Oh well, thanks. Thanks.
Now, when you say a prog song, what do you mean?
Progressive rock.
Oh,
So,
I thought
yeah.
Prague as in Prague in Europe.
The city or
Oh
something.
no.
No, no.
Prague as in progressive rock. No, we're very much
Okay.
a progressive rock fan or a progressive rock band. We're you know, I mean, we've got you know, there's one song. The song actually we've had 21 reviews of the album worldwide, and the one that everyone is going crazy over is the 20-minute long song. That's what everyone says is the number one, and it's probably the best thing I've ever written. Actually, lyrically, it's a little tongue in cheek. So yeah, it's I'm very proud of that one. But yeah, very much progressive rock. Where you weren't here when I talked about this. Our drummer is Noah Hungate. His dad is David Hungate, who was the bass player of Toto, and our lead singer is Jake Livgren, who is the nephew of Kansas's Kerry Livgren. So we've sort of got a little bit of a pedigree there.
Those were really strong. I was going to ask about that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I'm playing sax, keyboards, and doing the backup vocals on this, by the way.
Wow.
What I like particularly about this production is that you can understand the lyrics. Because in a lot of prog rock you can't.
Right.
With some bands it's just as well. With
Right.
Yes, for example, it's just as well because the lyrics are just nonsense. Nothing
Right.
makes sense. You know, it isn't supposed to, I don't think. You know,
Right.
but this is no, I like it. It sort of takes me back to when I was like 15 and 18 and 20 and when I started playing music. I'm actually a drummer, you know, so
Oh,
I'm
okay, yeah.
a drummer. So, you know, I was drumming along on my sofa here. Oh, it's good
Yeah.
stuff. It's good stuff.
Well, and you not on this song, but on a different song, a guy named Paul Bilatovich, who's London Royal Academy of Music. He graduated from there and taught there. Did a guest solo thing on there, but he actually plays guitar with Carl Palmer of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Carl's the
I
only
love
one
them.
still
I've seen
alive.
them live a few times, actually. Ages
Okay.
and ages ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So Paul helped us out and did this crazy solo, and it's one of the craziest moments on the album, actually, because I wrote it to be guitar solo, sax solo, guitar solo, sax solo, and he sent me back just this crazy guitar solo that I sat with a big smile on my face for about 10 seconds until I realized I had to play after that. And so, but it came out really great. We was very pleased with how it came out.
Is it also on Spotify?
It is, yeah.
It's all there. Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a song called Noisy Talking. It's the one you did.
Noisy talking. Okay.
Emerald City Council.
Yeah, Emerald City Council.
Now, Brent, are you the main lyricist? Did you write all the lyrics on this song?
Yes, I wrote all the lyrics for everything. I wrote all the
Wow.
lyrics.
There are some humongously profound lyrics
Oof.
in there.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
well, I've got a daughter who's kind of, she's in her 20s, and this is just shows like, you got to take the opportunities, and the way I'm going to send it to her today, and she's on a different, anyway, she's starting a new journey tomorrow work-wise, but it's just to take opportunities, wow. And I'm going to listen to your stuff, but thanks for sharing this today, but this is really timely and it will resonate with my daughter, I hope.
Well, great.
Today.
Well,
Thank
great.
you.
Well, and check out part 1 and 2 as well.
Will do.
Musically, a lot of it makes sense because there's a lot of when I did this, I wanted to wrap it up. So the second song, which is the first one, like I said, is an instrumental with some narration. The second part 2 actually starts out with "Hello, did I catch you at a difficult time?" which is why I wanted to end with "So long, now we'll see you at a different time" to harken back to what I did at the very beginning of the album. So people will remember, oh, an hour ago we did this. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that about the being able to stand a lot. There are a lot of prog bands who they get together with amazing instrumentalists and they're like, you're the best singer, so we're going to just let you sing. But fortunately, Jake is he's a fantastic singer. He's been singing on Carrie's album since he was 15. He actually sang backup vocal on the Kansas album, Somewhere to Elsewhere. He's just fantastic. So when I sent him my stuff and said, would you be interested in being the lead singer of my material? He said, yes, I love it. I want to be a part of it. That was a huge compliment to me that he liked it. I mean, because, when you grow up singing Carrie Livgren songs and then he agrees to sing, I kind of go, okay, well, I guess maybe I'm doing something right. Let's hope. So
Awesome.
Yeah, Jake's amazing. Super, super cool guy too. Yeah.
And he does the lyrics proud. He's I very much like in singing if the enunciation is clear, if it's near kind of speech kind of quality. Yeah, you don't distort the words for weird melodies, so you can't understand. Like in opera, it's one of the things that puts me off opera very often because it's the words are only there to transport the melody, so you don't understand. They might just be singing nonsense.
Right.
And with this, it's the words meaningful, and the singer appreciates that and does it in exactly that way that you understand what he's singing. That's
right.
Great production, and yeah, I love it.
Oh, well, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, that was super cool. Thanks, Brent, for sharing that.
Sure.